Okay, so being 6:30 p.m., I'll call this meeting to order, March 24th. Note this meeting is being televised, streamed, and recorded by Bourne TV. If anyone in the audience is recording or videotaping, they can acknowledge at this time. I do see Helen from Bourne
Hello.
Enterprise.
Yes, thank you.
All right, Helen. If anyone from the public wishes to access the meeting, they can do so by calling the following conference line, 1-929-205-6099, Zoom meeting ID 893-0112-5064, password Bourne, all caps. The Zoom chat will not be monitored. Participants who wish to speak must raise the hand icon until the chair asks them to unmute. All items within this meeting agenda are subject to deliberation and votes. This should be a pretty short meeting. We have one agenda item this evening, and it is a discussion and possible vote on a request from 16 Fisher to access town property located at 280 Standish. And I do see our applicant here, and I will give you the floor.
Yes, good evening.
Okay, there you are.
Yeah. Yes, so first of all, thank you very much for getting me on the agenda this evening. And apologies very much for last week. So we are, yes, asking on behalf of our client at 16 Fisher Lane to use the access at 280 Standish Road for the purposes of sand nourishment under the amended order of conditions SE 7-2091 dated June 17th, 2025. We understand that access is for this work is, other than governed by you guys, is also governed by the April 1st deadline in terms of some bird activity and nesting activity. So that's what we were hoping to get on the table tonight.
All right. I guess I will ask Marlene if all is in order in relation to this project.
It is, yes. We have prepared the town council's license for this property, and we have everything we need from this end. So the board, if you're comfortable, can authorize me to sign that.
Okay. Any questions from the select board related to this matter? Okay, hearing none. Do we have a motion to authorize the town administrator to sign this or?
So moved.
Motion to approve and instruct the town administrator to sign the license on behalf of the select board.
All right, motion from Peter Meyer. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, a second from Anne Marie Sarunian, Vice Chair Sarunian. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, I will do a roll call vote. Peter?
Yes.
Anne Marie?
Yes.
MJ?
Yes.
The chair votes yes. 4-0-0. All right. So that is done. Thank you for coming. And
Motion to adjourn.
adjourn? Okay, motion from Anne Marie. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, second from MJ.
MJ.
Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. Roll call vote. Anne Marie?
Yes.
MJ?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
Melissa, chair votes yes. All right, see you all at 7.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Emery, can you hear me?
Yes.
Thanks.
I
I
can,
didn't
MJ.
test my microphone and sometimes it's wonky.
Yeah. Peter, are you back on?
He's on the phone, I think.
I think that is him.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, thanks, Peter.
And Marie, I'm here as well. I just want to make a note. As we know, the south side can be a little bit sketchy when it comes to connectivity. So if I shut my camera off, it's only because I'm getting a message that says your connection is unstable. It's not because I'm shutting it off because I want it to be, and then I will put it back on. But if it goes off, that is generally why. Okay.
Understood.
Thank you.
Okay, being 7 o'clock, I will call the Board of SOAR Commissioners meeting of March 24th, 2026 to order. This is a Zoom meeting only, a virtual meeting only. It is either being televised, streamed, or recorded by Bourne TV. I see Helen, you're back on. Are you also recording?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The Zoom chat will not be monitored, so please use the raise your hand icon, and when the chair recognizes you, you're welcome to speak. If anyone wishes to access the meeting, they can do so by dialing 1-929-205-6099. The Zoom meeting ID is 817-635-65834, and the password is SEWER, SEWER, all capital letters. I will take a moment of silence to recognize our troops and our public safety personnel, so please mute. Thank you. I'm going to forego agenda item number 2. I do not have a flag present, so and then move on to agenda item number 3. Is there anyone who wishes to make a public comment on a non-agenda item? Please raise your hand icon. Seeing none, I will take a moment of personal privilege that I think it's really important to get the word out as much as possible that the health department, in conjunction with the Care Solace, is starting a 1-year pilot program on April 1st. And this is a free referral program for all residents who need help navigating getting in-network behavioral health providers or substance use providers. It's not a 911. It's a number that you can call. You'll be connected with an individual who can help you navigate finding treatment services. And it begins April 1st. It's a 1-year pilot program. It's as a result of the opioid settlement funding, and I think it's a great use of those funds. The number is 888-515-7881. If you go on the town website, Board of Health, you can also get additional information there or call the Board of Health directly at Town Hall. Stephen Burdos is the coordinator, if I'm pronouncing that name correctly. So, thank you. Agenda item number 4 is the abatement request for 16 Tower Lane and the permanent sewer disconnect. Matt, do you have anything to say before we ask anyone here? Kathy, are you here for Tower?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I can let Kathy speak and then fill in any of the
Okay.
blanks you may have. I have
Great.
reviewed this, and my memo is in the meeting materials.
Okay. Go ahead, Kathy.
The Academy has removed the existing building, which was a 7-apartment complex, and we have disconnected from the sewer. It has been capped, and we are putting in a prefabricated facility garage. You'll actually see that construction or that installation going in over the next couple months. And
Okay,
we're
great.
just looking to close the account because we will not have any sewer services.
Matt?
So if I was during this process, probably about 8 or 9 months ago, I was contacted by the engineer who explained to me that the only drain they would have would be a floor drain, and they would be washing equipment inside the garage and such. So that was definitely something we didn't want going into the sewer system. So where there was no bathroom facilities and no sanitary facilities in there, we did recommend a tight tank. We did reach out to the Board of Health too in this process just to confirm with them that that would be acceptable, and they're familiar with what we've done with the process with this project.
Okay. MJ?
My question actually had to do with the Board of Health. Have they approved the tight tank, or is that something that they will have to do in the future?
I'm not sure if they'll approve the tight tank. We're very limited in what we are allowed to approve with the Mass State Building Codes, with Mass Maritime. They didn't say if they'd approve it or not. I haven't heard from them, but I can reach out to Caitlin.
I'm just wondering if it's in their jurisdiction. And I mean, I'm assuming that they do have jurisdiction, even though it's a state building. So if we vote this, I would say subject to the approval of the tight tank from the Board of Health, if required. That's all. Because if there's not a tight tank, that it may have to come back to us for further discussion. There has to be some appropriate. And I don't know what their involvement is. I don't know if it's required, but if it is required, it should be subject to that. That would just be my thought.
I do know that all the measures of the construction will need to pass through the state building inspector and sign off, and that is one of the items that he will have to approve for use of the property.
Anne Marie?
You're muted, Anne Marie.
Sorry, Peter. Go ahead.
Yeah. A couple of questions. As far as fire protection goes, if you're not going to have a water service in there, are you going to put a dry sprinkler system in for fire protection? Because I know there's an alarm monitoring system on the plan, but not a sprinkler system.
We do have water service coming into the building. It's just that we won't have any sewer services coming out. It'll be secondary wash waters that will be collected in a subsurface tank that will be pumped out.
Yeah, it's a tight tank. I know that part of it. All right, but as far as fire protection, is there a sprinkler system being installed?
Yes.
Okay.
Any other additional questions? Peter, your hand's still up. I'm assuming that's from before.
Yes. Let me try to unmute it, and I'll take my hand down.
That's okay. MJ?
So it was noted that the payment had not been made. And so what are the interest or penalties that cannot be waived?
I want to say it was about $15. It was a very small amount.
Any other questions?
$1.48. I'm sorry, it was even less.
It's only $1.48 and we still can't waive it, but yeah.
I was just saying. I think you may be able. I was going by.
But you know what? I have to say though, on a $3,000 bill that hasn't been paid, I suppose it was only billed in March, right? So it's only just been billed.
It's just been billed. It's
Yeah.
less than a
February, I
week.
think. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was February.
Well, billed in February, due
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not like it's really
3 days.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll take a stab at a motion.
Okay. Thank you.
Approve the abatement and closure of the sewer account at 16 Tower Lane, subject to the payment of interest and penalties due, and approval of the tight tank by the Board of Health if required, or the state inspector who is inspecting the building. How's that?
I'll second.
Okay. I think I think you covered everything. Subject to the approval of tight tank approval, right? By
The tight tank
state
approval by the
building
Board of
approval.
Health if required,
If
or the
required.
state inspector.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I just
Yeah.
make a comment publicly.
Matt?
Kathy, you guys, I just wanted to confirm that you understand that if you come back for sewer in the future, the process would start over as if you're a new building.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that that was all clear. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay. So is there a second on that motion?
I second, yes.
Thank you, Melissa. Any additional discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote. MJ?
Yes.
Melissa?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes, 400. Thank you,
Thank
Kathy.
you. Thank you very much.
All right, moving on to agenda item number 5, the fiscal year 27 proposed budget and annual town meeting motions. Matt, you're unmute.
I know we discussed the budget at the previous meeting. We didn't meet in February, but we did discuss it at that time. So what you have in front of you is the final budget. It includes the predicted debt payments for next year. It includes the addition of the I&I inspections and cleaning. That was a new initiative we had brought forward. And it includes our band payment for next year for the grinder pump project. So the total request operating budget was $1,849, $1,849,450. There would also be $100,000 of a reserve fund for use by the Board of Sewer Commissioners.
Mm-hmm.
And indirect costs are going to be $181,283. So the total request at town meeting would be $2,130,733. That is an increase of $249,056 over last year's total request. So I believe at this time, I think the conversation would probably go to the motion, and if the board would be privy to using any retained earnings to offset the cost of the ratepayers. In your packet, we did prepare a kind of an analysis of where the user fees would be based on the overages approved earlier this year and different amounts of retained earnings.
So if we're looking at, let me get the page so people can reference it if they have it up. It's page 9, I believe, of your packet that has the proposed fiscal year 27 budget with retained earnings being used from $0 up and through 250,000. And if you see at the bottom, so for instance, if we don't use any retained earnings, the annual per unit sewer charge is $1,162. If we use $50,000 of retained earnings, and you probably can all see this, but I'm just for public purposes going to say it, each of these columns and the scenario. So if you're using $50,000 of retained earnings, the annual per unit sewer charge will be $1,126. 100,000 of retained earnings. The annual is 1,090. 150,000, the annual is 1,055. 200,000 of retained earnings is 1,019, and 250,000 is 983. We currently have, as of March 24th, $900,033 in retained earnings. So, if there's any discussion relative to retained earnings and its use, MJ?
Yeah, I had a question, Matt. You showed in the projection on page 9 an increase of users from 1,248 to 1,397. Is that actual or projected?
So that's projected. So that is projecting 91 users from the scenic park, which we're assuming will be coming online prior to the spring. And we have about 400 users if you take the scenic park out of the calculation within the allocation spreadsheet. So I kind of divided that by the next 6 years. So I added about 61 users plus the 91 users from scenic park to come up with that number.
So I'm kind of concerned about that because I don't think it's an actual good number. And we have sort of in the past stuck with the actual users that we have rather than projecting possible users. When we get to the actual setting,
Yeah.
thinking about the rates. So it is possible that we'll get the 91 users. I mean, I did notice that the 213,000 of sewer development charges, it's not on the building permit because I don't think they get a building permit, right? So it's a tie-in. Are they project? They were hoping to be able to have it done for April. Do we know if that's happening or not happening? Or
it should be done by April. They have almost everything in the ground. It's just a matter of tying at the street and completing the pump station.
Okay. So I don't think we're going to have 1,397 users. We lost the users at Tower Lane. Is that included in here?
Yes, it is. I kind of assumed
Okay.
that you guys would deduct those 7.
Okay. So I don't think we're going to have 1,397. I think we might have the 91 users. If we don't put in any retained earnings instead of a $249,000 increase, we're going to have a $349,000 increase. And I still think that we got the retained earnings were like, what, at 900? But we did get, we got 101,000 from 2 Kendall Ray on July 10th. So it didn't get counted in retained earnings, but it will get counted in retained earnings this year. We've got another $200,000 in sewer development that should be coming from Scenic Park. So I'm very cautious about totally eliminating the retained earnings. And I don't know. I'm going to be more comfortable eliminating the use of returned earnings once we get all the units at Kendall Ray in, because that's gonna really help with users.
Mm-hmm.
That I think that it's like, what is it, 167 units now there?
Yes.
It was higher before, but I think it's
Keystone.
133 users.
133. So once we get those 133 users, I mean, basically, if you use $100,000 per user, you're getting another 100,000, and so dropping that might be a little bit more reasonable. I think we should use at least 50,000 of retained earnings this year, and potentially continue the 100,000. I mean, I realize that upcoming we're going to have some debt and we're going to have some other things, but we also have a lot of money that's coming in sewer development charges, and those charges were really meant to help offset the cost of the new wastewater plant until we got the users. And I think we have to kind of stick with that. I realize that there are going to be rate increases in the future, but the people in the sewer system, in 2019, they were paying $775. So when you look at the recent rates, you're saying, oh, it's, holding steady. But they've had some major increases in rates. And I would prefer, because it's unsure about how many users we're actually going to have, to continue the $100,000 of retained earnings. I think we got the sewer development charges last year. They haven't been included in retained earnings, and we're going to get new. And then I think it'll help stabilize the rates for people. And that's just my thought.
Any other comments on that? I don't disagree with that at all. I think we should cautiously move in incrementally until we have more solid numbers. Retained earning is
Yeah,
ratified.
My motion would be to use the $100,000 of continue the $100,000 of retained earnings, because we're unsure of the number of users and we really don't know what the rates are what the bottom line rates are gonna be. So that would be my motion.
I think to help the users costs and try to mitigate some of it for them. I think it still leaves plenty of a buffer of, 800,000 that we know is certified, and with additional monies coming in that are definitive. I mean, that's a definite. It's just a matter of it being certified. So I'm okay with 100,000 of retained earnings for this budget, for the fiscal year 27 budget. Melissa, do you have any comments or Peter?
No, I'm a sewer user, so I try to just listen when we talk about these.
Matt, anything else to add? Oh, sorry, Peter.
That's all right. No, Melissa and I are in a similar situation, so I'm going to try to stay out and not comment.
Okay.
If you vote for $100,000 retained to utilize $100,000 retained earnings, and we don't gain any users, it would be $1,222.
Yeah, which would be an increase. And so I think that's kind of the way to, I think we may get those users and it may kind of hold steady, but I think that's, I think the $100,000 is the cautious.
Yes, cautious increment.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I do think we do need a majority of the board to vote so that we have a majority on this.
Right.
It's not a direct rate question.
No, it's a budget question. It's a budget question.
So, we do need that. We do need a majority, a majority of the board to vote on this issue. So
correct.
If there's no other motion, I'll make a motion to adopt a budget as presented and to use $100,000 of retained earnings toward the FY27 budget.
I'm just writing for the public. Retained earnings for fiscal year.
You need to vote the motion as presented also, or just the dollar figures?
We can vote the motion. I'm not sure that we have to vote the motion.
Motion is the budget as presented plus the use of 100,000. So that yellow thing would be $100,000.
Right. Right.
I mean, I can do the budget and motion as presented with the use of $100,000 of retained earnings.
Right. I'll second that motion.
Okay.
So roll call vote. Oh, MJ?
Yes.
Melissa?
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. So 4-0-0, motion passes for Article 3. Okay, let me get back to my agenda. Item number 6 is the fiscal year 27 proposed capital requests and annual town meeting motions.
So there are no changes to the capital requests. We were asking for $732,000 to complete the skater upgrades. The motion for that article will be within the capital article as a whole in town meeting. So I don't
Correct.
think there's any need for you to vote for it. We had on the agenda in case there's any questions.
Any questions?
No, we're borrowing for this, right?
That's correct, yes.
Okay.
Data, yeah. What was the total? 730 some
32. 32, I think.
732?
732,000.
Okay. Borrowing. Okay. Why don't we make the motion then to approve the capital requests for the sewer department enterprise
I'll make
fund?
a motion to approve the $732,000 capital request for the SCADA upgrade with enterprise borrowing for FY 27.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Peter. Any additional comments, questions? Seeing none, roll call vote. MJ,
Yes.
Melissa,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. Okay, 4-0-0. All right, moving along. Discussion of RFP/IFB for the wastewater treatment facility operations and maintenance. Matt, I'll let you, just to preface it, it's not a traditional RFP that we'll be putting out. It'll be more constituted as a bid request. But I'll have Matt explain the reasons why and moving forward with the proposed bid request for the operations and maintenance of the wastewater treatment facility.
Did you want me to go or I just saw your hand come up. In the process of going over this with council, as they really got into looking at what the RFP entailed, they felt as though there was some repairs and replacement parts in there, which aren't allowed to be under Chapter 30 as a maintenance. It's more considered construction. So because of those repairs that were required, we had to shift it to an actual invitation to bid, where we have to choose the lowest bidder. So what that did, it really made us really tighten up our scope for the project, because instead of kind of letting the proposers kind of create the plan they wanted to do, we really had to dial in on how many hours we thought they would be out there, exactly what the town would be paying for, exactly what the bidders would be paying for. We had to kind of estimate how many hours we thought there would be in emergency calls and repairs and replacement work and additional construction at the plant. So it took us some time to go back through the RFP to create kind of a bid form. So we did do that. We did create it. Right now, council is just looking at the contract language to see if there's anything we need to change. So the way we have the bid form and how we're going to reward the bid is where we'll award the bid for the entire 3 years of the contract for the total cost of the estimated amounts. So we have an annual contract for the main maintenance services of the plant for years 1, 2, and 3. And then we have 100 hours a year for alarm responses in years 1, 2, and 3, and 270 hours a year for corrective maintenance and repairs. And those were based on the 2 years prior to the plant being offline, based on how many hours we had done work in there. We thought that was a good estimate to bring forward in the bid document. So we had to really tighten up also the criteria of who could bid, and so we based that on, we took kind of our highest qualifications, the RFP, and put that as requirements in the bid. So we should be able to put this out to bid pretty soon, but I wanted to hear if the board had any questions or concerns with going this route.
Just point of order.
Yes.
You and I, we and the board knows what RFP, IFB, and WWTF mean,
Oh,
but the public at home doesn't. So
okay.
when we use acronyms, could you guys just explain what these letters are for the public at home?
Yes, absolutely. An RFP is a request for proposals, which allows the town to choose the most advantageous bidder for a project. So it may not be the lowest bidder, but the most advantageous. It's used for engineering, for maintenance contracts, amongst other things. An IFB is an invitation to bid, which is more for public works construction, including buildings and roads and bridges and pump stations. And that requires you to take the lowest bidder.
Thank you. I know it's just for the people at home that don't know it.
Thank you, Peter. MJ?
Just trying to unmute, sorry. So is this an up to number of hours? So are they bidding, like, is this going to be billed as they do the work? You know how like progress billing for up to that many hours? So if we don't have 275 hours, we only have 200, we only pay for 200, or are they going to get paid for the 275 no matter what?
They'll only get paid for the work they do. It's just an estimated hour to hold them all equal in the bidding.
Okay.
And it's an estimate, is a best estimate as we can make off previous work at the plant.
And what did we decide to do with those other pieces? Are those going to be paid for by the town, or the pieces that were not qualified?
Yes, so some of those are already paid for by the town, a lot of stuff within the building. We want to take on the sludge. We definitely want to pay for the sludge ourselves, the chemicals. Most of the stuff that we're paying for ourselves, we already pay for now. There was a few things we added. We definitely want to make sure we're paying for all the parts. And the reason for that is we want to see a real cost of what it's going to.
You know what the markup?
Parts of what it's going to be as if we take that plant
Yeah,
over.
you know what the markup? Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. That makes sense. As long as we can get them, and yeah, whatever. I think this sounds reasonable. I mean, it's the lowest qualified bidder, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that we can say if someone's not qualified or something, and still have some way of doing it. But I think this sounds good. I appreciate all the work you put into getting it sort of, crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's and making sure that it is what we have to do. So it's a new direction, and I think it's a good direction for us to explore. So I appreciate the work.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. We've had some real issues, and hopefully with this new process and pulling some things out, taking it upon ourselves, as well as restructuring how the operation, how the maintenance and corrective maintenance, etc., with the wastewater treatment facility, happens. So I think this is a good direction. And the bid process it's a good one. It's I think it's as good as what you put into it, right? It's as good as the data and as good as, the language in it. But I think this is from what I gather, Matt, without seeing the actual IFB, this sounds like it falls into place and we'll be able to get some real numbers and real companies that can handle the task.
There is a shared file in the email I had sent to the board that should bring you to it if you did want to look at it
Okay.
when the meeting material.
Is the wastewater treatment facility up and running? I know it was mid-March. That was the projected date.
No, it was the blizzard kind of postponed that. Kubota will be in town the second week of April.
Okay.
So Weston Sampson should have flow starting to go to it before that, so that
Okay.
everyone's on the same page and everyone's starting at the same time. That's the goal.
Okay.
I have a meeting with them. I met with them 2 weeks ago. I have another meeting with them tomorrow morning, to see where they're at with that. But the blizzard slowed everything down a little bit. Just
Sure.
everything was kind of covered in snow, not just for us, but for them also.
Okay.
But we are back in line, hopefully for the second week in April.
Okay. Any other questions for Matt?
No, I'm good. I think it was already said. Thank you, everyone. That was great. Thank you, Matt, for your time on that. Hard work.
Okay. What's the anticipated date that this is going to go live?
I want to wait and hear back from council. Once they give
Okay.
us the approval, we'll get it out there.
Okay, great.
Do you need any kind of motion from us or
We probably
motion
should
to
make a
accept
motion to put it
the
out.
proposed or bid documents subject to approval of town council?
Yes. Yes, that's
I'll
perfect.
second that if that's the motion.
Yes. Yes, motion to approve RFP, IFB, subject to approval by town council. Would anyone like to
So
second
moved.
that motion?
Second.
Peter, was that you?
I seconded.
Oh, thank you, Melissa. Okay, any additional discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote. MJ?
Yes.
Melissa?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Okay, 400. Director's report.
A couple things. We did send the first letters out for the businesses who will be switched to actual use. Just informing them we were going to do that. We had originally put this date for the meeting, but I didn't hear from anybody, so I'll send a letter to the businesses we sent that to that I didn't speak to, just letting them know that it'll be on the future agenda. In regards to that, the wastewater summary sheet is updated with all 2025 numbers, including the metered usage, the pumping, and the metered usage for all the businesses. So if you look at what's available, if we were to vote the actual uses, it shows we have about 20,000 gallons a day available, and that is because we pumped about 14,000 gallons a day less last year. It fluctuates every year, so I don't want to get too excited about that number and say that we did, but for this year, that's the number we have to work with.
Okay.
Based on what we have.
The 20,293?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
The Hideaway project is completely done and closed out with the contractor. We have the final pay rec, and that'll be completely closed out with the ARPA funds. The only thing left to do with that is just come up with a maintenance agreement with the Hideaway directors. We're working on that behind the scenes with the maintenance people. And I did last week I did tour the Wareham plant with all the upgrades that we've been paying for. And it's coming along nice. So and I had a nice conversation with the superintendent over there. I know we want to have future talks about the CWMP. I'm gathering more information from him about what they're looking for in the future and what we're looking for in the future. So I know we want to have that on a future agenda item. However, the board may want to handle that. We can let me know, and I'll get as much data as I can and information as I can.
Anything else?
That was all I had for this director's report.
Okay. So we need approval of minutes from 10/28, 11/4, and 1/20. Those are in your packet.
Make a motion to approve minutes as presented.
Is there a second?
So I was not here for the first set, so I can recuse from, I can abstain from those, and then I can accept the other two. So if we can separate that one, the first set.
Okay, so motion to approve the minutes of 10/28/2025.
A motion to approve the minutes of 10/28/2025.
Is there a
Second.
second? Thank you, Peter. Roll call
Oh.
vote. MJ,
Yes.
Melissa,
Abstained.
Peter,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. 301. So subsequent minutes, can we approve 11/4 and 120 together?
Make a motion to approve the 11, well, sorry, I skipped the dates, they're not in front of me.
11/4 and 120.
11/4 and 120 as presented.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Peter, roll call vote. MJ,
Yes.
Melissa,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. 400. Thank you. Future agenda items.
So I have a future agenda item. We have been working with Cape and Islands Water Protection Fund on the method for giving Bourne the credit for the Cape and Islands Water Protection Fund. And actually, the town administrator in Wareham has some concerns about the language. So I'd like Matt and Marlene to kind of work with that and then have an agenda item to report back to us in the future on how that's going to work or how we can address it to get it to be functional.
Okay. And how it's going to get credited in the process for.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a unique situation, and the Clean Water Trust did a lot of work in coming up with a method to do it. I think that there's some language that the Cape and Islands Water Protection Fund isn't guaranteed payment, but once it's voted, it's paid. I mean, the money's there. So I think we just have to reach out to Wareham with the Cape Cod Commission, with Aaron Perry and Michelle White, and that those people need to get together with Derek and Marlene and Matt and work out what exactly it means by not having a guarantee and how it would be backed up. Because but I do think the board, the sewer commissioners, should get a report on how that works out in the future.
Okay.
That's all I'm asking for. We're not, yeah.
I understand. Any other future agenda items? So we'll also continue updating us, Matt, on the RFP, the IFB process as it unfolds. And then the letters that went out.
At the next meeting, if I don't hear from them, didn't seem like anyone was too concerned with it, but I haven't spoken to all of the people that received letters. So
Okay. All right. Any other agenda items at this time? And then you'll keep us posted on the grinder pump and the maintenance agreement with Hideaway Village?
yes, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you,
Second.
Peter. Thank you,
MJ.
MJ. Roll call vote. MJ?
Yes.
Melissa?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes at 7:43 p.m.